Okay, testing microphone 1 2 3 4 5, testing 1 2. Hopefully this is working properly so that we can switch over here and get going. Let me make certain that I can hear stuff on here, and I can't, so that cannot be good. Make certain, that's the reason why. Let me see here. Testing. Okay, good. I think we're good. Let me mute that real quick. All right, and here we go. Okay, hope this works. It looks like things are good for now. Let me just double check to make certain that we are on and working. And then it shows that we're live. Whether or not it sounds that way, let's find out. Just real quick before I make a fool out of myself, which is so easy. Okay, got audio. All right, that sounds good. Hopefully I'm not stuck in that one area right there. Give it a second to show up. Should be there in a little bit. Talking to my production staff, my lovely and talented wife back in the other room so that we can see this properly. It looks like we're live at this point. So far so good on that. Let me just make certain one more time that I can hear what's going on, and hopefully that is good. Okay, so it looks like we're okay, hopefully. So let me just mute this so we can go from there. All right, if we're live and it looks like we're okay and it looks like audio is doing okay, thank you very much. Love you very much, Melissa, my audio and video crew in the back for right now, and it doesn't look like anybody else is having any video issues, so let's go ahead and mute this and get rid of that side for now, and we'll go to the start of everything. And let's welcome everybody for checking on through tonight. We were live on Twitch TV earlier this evening, and if anybody has any questions about things, we'll do our best to answer things as we go along. It is just past 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday evening, and we are looking at a pretty good sized winter storm heading on through. I would call this a major event, but it doesn't look like it's got the signature of a major amount of snow coming through. Some, yes, but it looks like most of the snowfall is going to be missing us back to the north and west. But the reason we're doing this is to let you know a little bit more about what may be happening and how things can change. So stay tuned and we'll give you updates as we go along tonight, and take a look at a few things that are happening right now. If you're watching this post-recording, say toward about midnight Eastern Time, it's a good bet a lot of things have changed, and we will have News 12 meteorologist Todd Heislip on at 11 o'clock, so tune in for him for the latest weather information there. And don't forget to tune in for Chip Chapman's forecast coming up bright and early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. So want to make certain everybody is getting updated on what's going on. Tomorrow is not going to be the day to just jump in the car and go roaring off. You're going to want to check out the forecast. You're going to want to check out what the road conditions are. News 12 will have that for you on the morning show. Yes, tomorrow's a holiday, but people are still in motion. So we want to make certain that everybody is going to be safe. And there's a lot of stuff that can happen for right now. So tune into our website for more information about all of our brand new graphics. Thank you, Barron's Weather, for these. And as of right now, you take a look at what's going on with the temperatures. It's actually, even at 7 o'clock tonight, it's actually very balmy out there considering what is coming our way. And we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. We've got a lot of data here. We're doing our best to bring you as much information as possible. Check again our weather page at wdef.com/weather to see more about what's going on there. And we'll post a recording of this coming up a little bit later on tonight in case you didn't join from the start. So we'll have more on that for you coming up here in just a little while, so stay tuned on that. Doesn't look like we have any comments as of right now, but we'll probably have some coming up throughout the rest of the evening, so we'll bring you that information in just a little bit. This is, again, going to be some problematic conditions out there. So if you have any plans to travel, I would really pay attention to what's going on with what is happening. If you've never driven in winter weather before, maybe you've moved here from, say, California or southern Texas or places that don't ordinarily get a lot of winter weather, it really takes a lot of practice. I feel that I'm pretty good at it because I grew up in northeast Kansas, and we have a very decent amount of winter weather out there from time to time. But if you've never had the practice of driving on snow or ice or in a very low visibility environment, not the time to go rushing around, not even close to the time frame to go rushing around. So let's get off the soapbox here and show you a little bit more about what we're looking at for now. By the way, in the blue bar at the bottom of your screen, that's the National Weather Service forecast that's passing on by, so you can read what they have expected for Chattanooga. That's the forecast area that I put together, that I copied from the National Weather Service. It's just easier that way. I'm in pretty much agreement about what's going on in regards to what is going to be happening with them. So it's easier just to put that there to be able to show more about what is going on. This is Radar Scope. If you don't have this app, I would really highly recommend it. And you are looking at the hydrometeor classification. If you have never gotten this app, this is an app that I really would recommend having just in case. The blue is just a little bit of the dry snow potential. Pink is ice crystals. This is a pretty dry system. There's enough moisture to create the snow and create the ice crystals way up, about several hundred to several thousand feet up. Down to the ground, we are seeing some areas, the slightly brown color right there that you see around just to the west of Huntsville that are forming, just to the west of the high top radar site. That is some rain mixed in with that snow. And that is where we could see some more problems into later on this evening. The heaviest amount of snow is between Chattanooga and Nashville for the most part. Most of what we're seeing there, that is where the potential is going to be greatest. We'll show you the forecast coming up here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for more on that. As you can see, there's some holes in that coverage. It's not a total swath of snow. It's not covering the entire area, so there are some gaps in the coverage there. And there will be probably throughout the rest of the night. So you'll see the snow, maybe some raindrops mixed in, especially if you're south and west of Chattanooga down toward Huntsville. That is where you see possibilities of more mixed precipitation coming up. But for right now, this is the way the radar looks. You can check out our website for our radar and also the different modes that are available, including more information about precipitation types and what is actually coming down in some areas out there. There is also, again, if you'd like to if you'd like to help the National Weather Service with research, stick around because we'll talk more about this in just a little bit. How you can do a good job in spotting for weather for the National Severe Storms Laboratory. And if you can see what's going on with weather, you would be able to help research and help what is basically called ground truth with radar information. And I'll show you more about that coming up here in just a little bit. We're going to stick around for as long as we possibly can to give you an idea as to what's going on, because people are just going to be tuning in and watching what's happening. James Carroll Dodson, watching from South Walker County, thank you very much for joining us and commenting on Facebook. And Jeff Peterson, Western Sequatchie County, got some flakes coming down there. Thank you very much for contributing on that. Right around Chattanooga, there is not really too much actually going on just yet. Some of that is coming down across the area, so you probably are seeing a few snowflakes taking place, but most of what we're looking at is north of Chattanooga between I-24 and I-75 in that V-shaped area between the interstates, and more of that goes all the way up Murfreesboro, Lynchburg, back over toward Franklin, well on up toward Nashville. We are picking up a lot more activity well to the northwest of Chattanooga, which is in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Now, all of this is going to be changing, excuse me, into later on tonight. So again, it's going to be vitally important to check out what the forecast is going to be doing and why this is very important coming up here in just a little bit. So stay tuned for more on that. I'm going to stop the radar here for just a second, and we're going to switch. Whoops, where did my website go? Okay, that's not good. Let me go back to that and see if it'll catch up. No, it hasn't yet. Hang on just 2 seconds. Okay, that's not supposed to be happening, so let's go back here. There we go. Okay, and that's what I wanted to show you. Okay, sorry about that. Sometimes I forget that when you minimize the windows on OBS, which is what we're using to streamcast to Facebook, sometimes things go away and the system says, oh, well, I can't find it, and there's a good reason why. So, all right, so this is the National Weather Service page. You can find out more at weather.gov to click on any of these locations here, and you will pick up, again, more information with what is going on, excuse me, again, from the National Weather Service. The purple shaded counties, the lighter, kind of more just basic purple, around areas north of, I wish my cursor was showing up on screen. I don't know why it's not. Kentucky, Missouri, southern Illinois, eastern areas of Oklahoma, and down all the way into around Birmingham, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi. Those purple counties are the winter weather advisory, which means there is going to be winter weather of some type coming down, but it is not going to be as bad as what we're seeing in the pink counties. Those counties at this time are a winter storm warning, which means winter weather of a particular nature, in this case a pretty healthy amount coming on through, is going to be imminent within about another, at least soon to another 12 hours. And this stretches from Texas to West Virginia, and that includes portions of the News 12 viewing area, including Hamilton County, Chattanooga, Huntsville, Nashville, Knoxville, back up around the area of Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Little Rock, Memphis. That includes everybody there. And that also includes, again, excuse me, I'm sorry, I haven't used my voice in a few days, been off and relaxing a little bit, and so unfortunately, a little bit difficult to, I probably should have warmed up at some point in time before going on the air. This is from the National Weather Service in the Morristown area, which covers basically all of southeast Tennessee for us in the News 12 viewing area, and a small portion of western areas of North Carolina. National Weather Service Huntsville covers areas to the south and west of Chattanooga, and National Weather Service Peachtree City, Georgia covers everything, again, from the Georgia state line southward. So what we've got is, again, a winter storm warning in effect, which means that our winter weather is going to be imminent. It is starting, as we just showed you on the radar. That's the leading edge of everything coming our way. So that is going to be just where we start off. It's going to be a lot different out there in the morning. How much are we going to get? We'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. The Winter Storm Severity Index from the National Weather Service in Morristown. This is showing us, again, what is going to be the worst of the worst activity coming through. The sliding scale that you see on the right-hand side of your page. Gray, winter weather area, as you can see, down toward Atlanta, south of Huntsville. Yellow indicates minor impacts, which again is for southeast Tennessee, northwest Georgia, and northeastern Alabama. Orange is the moderate impact, and that includes a good portion of the Hamilton County area, northern Jackson County along the Tennessee line, and most of southeastern Tennessee. Going out a little farther, you can kind of see where the pattern is shaping up. Red is the 4 out of 5 major impact, and that includes Knoxville down toward around Maryville. Alcoa is going to be picking up some of that, Oak Ridge possibly, and then all the way back over to the mid-south, around the northwestern tip of Mississippi, east-central Arkansas, and northwestern Alabama, Decatur, back over toward Iuka. That is where the red is showing the best potential of the worst weather. So right now we're getting, again, a good healthy dose of this, but it does not appear to be a particularly major wallop when it comes to that amount of snow. That can change, probably will in the next 12 hours, but again, so far that's what we're looking for at this time. This map indicates, again, the temperatures out there. And if you take a look around Chattanooga, southeast Tennessee, the temperature at the airport at the top of the hour was recorded at 43 degrees. So we're seeing some winds out there, not bad. Winds gusting, not that much. But they have changed to the northwest, as you see the markers out there indicating. Take a look at Nashville. We've got a temperature of 21 degrees, so the number has been basically kind of cut in half where we are. And if you go all the way back over to around Dyersburg, the temperature is 12. If you go up to Paducah, the temperature is 9. Let's see, wind chill of -3. Around Lexington, Tennessee, temperature of 19 degrees with freezing mist being reported. And all the way back to around the area of Rolla, Missouri, close to that area, the temperature is -1. Winds are not bad, so there's not much of a wind chill coming up. Poplar Bluff, Missouri at 8 degrees, and even worse conditions all the way back to the north. Joplin, Missouri is currently sitting at 0 degrees, a wind gusting to 20 miles per hour, so we've got wind chill. Doesn't say at this point, but we are seeing some gusty conditions out there. It looks like wind chill is way on down there, to say the least, and that is what is heading our direction. So we've got some major changes taking place in the next 12 hours as that cold air mixes with all that moisture coming our direction. So that is where we are seeing the problem for tomorrow, again, with the potential of some of that freezing and some of that maybe frozen on the way to the ground. And that's where the driving conditions are going to be the worst as we go into tomorrow. So if you've got plans out there, this is where we're going to be seeing that potential issue with slick conditions out across much of the area. So that, again, could be just a bit of a situation for us to take a look at. All right, let's get into, again, the possibility of snowfall. This, again, you can access from the National Weather Service in Morristown. It's just right on their winter weather page. Easy enough to get to that. I'll show you how in just a little bit if you want to check this out for yourself. The next 0 to 6 hours, and keep in mind this is forecast information that is very old. It was issued about 3 o'clock this afternoon. The new data is just coming out at 6 to 7 o'clock Eastern time, so all of this data will be changing as well. So into tomorrow, Chattanooga in the lower left-hand corner of this graphic showing the potential of inches of snowfall, 1/2 inch to 1 inch as we go to around the area of 1 a.m. Monday morning Eastern time, and that leading lighter edge of snow from Tazewell down to about Cleveland, about roughly 1/2 inch or less. Going farther, that light snow spreads all the way to North Carolina and into the western part of Virginia, and that's where Chattanooga, again, lower left-hand corner, picks up another 1/2 inch. Going into tomorrow through 1 o'clock in the afternoon, dark blue between Greenback, Knoxville, and Gatlinburg. It looks like the heaviest of the heavy at this point, according to this forecast, is going to be around the area of the Great Smokies, Cades Cove, Townsend. I was just in that area today, and back over to around areas around Greenback, south of Knoxville. This can change, but this is the way it looks like for right now. 24-hour snowfall total going through 1 p.m. tomorrow. This is where we see areas around Pikeville, Mont Eagle, back to the west of Dayton into around Sequatchie, Grundy, and into Marion counties, picking up that extra snow to where the higher elevations of the Cumberland Plateau, all the way back up north of I-40, Sunbright, Oneida, hope I'm saying that right, Oneida, La Follette is going to be picking up some in that area north of Chattanooga, but we could still be looking at another 2 to 3 inches, according to what the National Weather Service is saying. And when it's all said and done, getting into around Tuesday as everything moves out of the picture, could be about 3 to 4 inches here, Cleveland, 4 to 6 inches, Monteagle, Pikeville, Athens, Greenback, and Kingston up around the Dayton area. That is the worst for us. Now, in the yellow shaded category, Knoxville, I-75, I-40 back up into Southwest Virginia. Could be some localized areas picking up more than that. Maybe 10 inches in some localized areas, some, not a lot, but it is a possibility. And again, that'll be the worst of the worst as we go into around Wednesday when the storm is already cleared out, and that's what's left over on the ground. So that's the way the forecast looks to be for right now, which means, excuse me, again, the worst of the worst is going to be coming down tonight into very early tomorrow morning. So through about tomorrow afternoon, there'll be a lot of snow coming down, visibility will be bad, and travel on the roadways could be just a bit of an issue out there. So that is something that we could be looking at. A lot of problems, could be a lot of wrecks out there, could be a lot of slick conditions, especially on the roads going into or out of one particular location. This is going to be the situation to where if you do not have to travel, this is going to be a good idea to make certain you stay as safe as possible. Checking out the state DOT websites, checking out our website for more information, and checking out what else is going on. And we'll show more about that DOT situation here in just a little bit. How about ice when it comes to freezing rain or sleet? The worst of the worst out there, again, for right now, it appears to be northwest Georgia. Minor impacts at this time. This is a very dry situation. This from the National Weather Service in Huntsville, giving us a bit of a better idea as to what's going on coming in from the west. So Huntsville, right along Highway 72 and into northwestern Georgia and those higher elevations, there could be some freezing rain and or sleet depending on what the temperature difference does at those layers. So southwest of Chattanooga, Interstate 59 down toward Birmingham, south of Huntsville, I-65 south of Huntsville, that could be a bit of a problem into tomorrow. But for right now, the total ice accumulation from the SPIA Index website, giving credit where credit is due, again, for those particular areas, I think that's going to be the worst of the worst that we see. For Chattanooga, minimal impacts. There could be some sleet or freezing rain. Most of it's going to be snow, and if it is going to be freezing rain and sleet, south and west of Chattanooga is going to be the worst of the worst. So that is the way it shapes up again for right now. What are we talking about for snowfall? For right now, let me go back to the beginning of this loop. This from weathernerds.org, and this is the GFS model, so trusting this one. Not totally terrible, but it looks like, again, you see about 1.4 inches back around Jackson, Tennessee, and that goes until early Monday into around the afternoon period of time. Then that starts to set up a better snow band north and west of Chattanooga. Some of that starts sinking down our direction, that's true, but it looks like the worst of the worst is going to be northwest of Huntsville, south of I-40 in southwest Tennessee, and just into northern portions of Mississippi, northwestern Alabama, and again over toward Knoxville into the Smokies around Pigeon Forge, Kodak, Sevierville, could be picking up more potential there. That looks to be decently localized in that area. We could be seeing more in the potential of 8 inches plus over toward Knoxville, Chattanooga, and the I-40 split where you head up toward around the area of Johnson City. We are in that darker blue shaded area to where it looks like we're going to be winding up with about another 3 inches, 3 to 4 inches total. That goes all the way back to Huntsville, and the farther north you go of Chattanooga in the purple, 5, 6, 7, maybe around 8 inches of snow taking place in those particular areas. So that, again, is the GFS model. That has not re-updated for a while. The new data is just coming down at about 6 o'clock in the evening. They update about 4 times a day, so we're waiting on that late update. So this information we have is already several hours old. Would love to bring you more information about what we're looking for, but this is about as good as it gets for right now. This one also very much on the much later side of things. TropicalTidbits.com. This is just moisture coming down, and this model was run at about 6, 7 o'clock this morning, but it is showing us the same pattern just a little bit farther to the south. It is possible that we could see, again, a lot more moisture over toward Knoxville, but notice that big snow band has now set up around Oxford, Mississippi, southeast Arkansas, and northern areas of Mississippi. Now that's a good 12 hours old. So this is something, and it's an extended model. So this is a little bit more drawn, very large, if you will, but it is a good model to take a look at various points in time. We've got another system coming in possibly later on this week. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. TDOT is showing a lot of slowdowns now taking place. Chattanooga, lower right-hand corner of your screen on the TDOT SmartWay system. We're looking at a lot of orange on the map from the Nashville Metro right down I-40 all the way back to Memphis and into around Arkansas. So we are showing some very slow conditions back to our west as that moisture starts to stack up. This again is available from the TDOT system. Very loud engine going on outside my door. Sorry if you can pick that up right there. But for right now, eastern Tennessee is okay. Good possibility conditions are going to be getting progressively worse as we go throughout the rest of the evening. Still having trouble. I don't know. Let me see if I can reload this. GDOT was having some issues earlier updating. Hopefully we're not seeing... nope, still not giving me the information here. So if you'd like to have that, it's dot.ga.gov. Alabama showing a lot more information happening. Looks like some more accidents starting to take place. Crash at this time back over to the northwest. Several crashes, in fact, back to the northwest. And that pink in the counties indicates, again, the winter storm warning. So north of Birmingham to Huntsville, around Florence and Decatur, all the way back over to around Scottsboro. That is where we're going to be seeing possibly some of the worst travel conditions into tomorrow morning. So we are looking at some problems coming up there. And again, GDOT, this information from algotraffic.com if you'd like to go to Alabama's DOT website for traveling information out there. So that, again, is showing us the worst of the worst activity for now. It's not showing up. Roads are still green at this time from what it looks like, with the exception of going up into and around portions of the area of northwestern Alabama. So this appears to be the worst of the worst for the time being. Let me just get rid of the roadwork situation and the crashes and anything in the way of weather alerts. And then hopefully that'll kind of clear things up. Okay, roadways are still in green at this time, according to much of Alabama's DOT. And that also is the case. Looks like we're not getting a lot of the data update here. And I-22 northwest of Alabama back through Tupelo, not showing anything, but a lot more orange taking place back over toward Memphis, including some red around the loop into and around the Memphis metro area. So for now, it doesn't look like too much, but you can bet this is going to change. And again, that's algotraffic.com if you'd like to see more about that. For the final page, this is something that I would like to make certain everybody knows about. This is an app that you can download for your phone. It's called MPing. If you'd like to know more about this, all you have to do is search MPing or go to the National Severe Storms Laboratory. If you'd like to see more about this, what this does is you help the National Weather Service with the research. As just like Skywarn, you can tell the National Weather Service what you are seeing at your particular location. So let's just see view reports at this time. And this is, it's an animation, so you'll see reports over the last several hours as they come in. What you're looking at is data coming in from spotters who have the MPing app who say, I'm seeing sleet, I'm seeing snow, I'm seeing nothing. Even that type of report with stuff that is falling down, maybe it's evaporating on the way down. This is your opportunity to help the National Weather Service do research. You don't need a PhD, all you need is the app. So if you have this available, go ahead and check it out. Let's take a look and see what's going on around our area. Not much going on directly in Chattanooga at this time, but we are seeing some reports coming in. Let me pause this for just a second, and then hopefully it'll give us an idea as to who's seeing what. Again, for right now, you have a plethora of different types. You can even report damage at this point in time, roof or structural collapse from ice and snow. You can talk about burst water pipes, school or business closures are all put in there as well. Looks like I'm not going to be able to give you an idea as to what it's looking like for right now personally, but you are going to be able to, again, tell the National Weather Service what you are seeing based on what is available out there. So if you have the opportunity to download this, again, this is called MPing, M-P-I-N-G. And if you can download it, it's totally free. It's Meteorological Phenomena Identification Near the Ground. It's a bit of a mouthful, but you've got the acronym, so it's your opportunity to learn more about what's going on out there and to see what other people are reporting. So it's a group citizen science effort, and it's a really cool thing to do. This has been going on for several years. So if you have the information, you can help, because your data on these maps will show what is happening. So the National Weather Service can line up the information that's happening on the radar and compare them to what's happening down toward the surface. That will be your opportunity to take a part in this, and your information can help improve radar, can help improve forecasts, can help do a lot of things like that. So if you have the opportunity, download MPing, M-P-I-N-G, today, and you can help the National Weather Service with meteorological phenomena identification near the ground. All right, let's go long range at this point. This is from CMC, the Canadian Meteorological Center, and as all down toward the bottom of the screen, that's where we're looking. Going to put this into motion, and again, this is old data, so we're not getting the total refresh of everything happening at this time, but we are seeing there's our storm system down at the bottom of your screen. That is what we're looking at for right now into later on tonight. So that's the computer model telling us that this is what is going to be happening. Now we put this into motion, and that big area of high pressure clears out from the northwest. That escorts in that bitter cold temperatures that are heading our way. Then we start getting into around Thursday, and that is where, watch the area down toward where we are, News 12 viewing area, and you'll start to see high pressure ebb a little bit, and right there, that is where it looks like it doesn't look to be quite as potent as what we're going through now, but it does show the potential of mixed precipitation and snow and rain coming through by about, give or take, around Thursday. Again, doesn't look like a huge wallop, but it is going to be another travel situation that we may see in parts of the area there. So that could be something else to take a look at, which means at this time of year, winter weather one week, severe weather the next, paying attention is what's going to help you the most. Paying attention to traffic out there and the forecast, that's going to be something that is really going to come in handy to make certain that if you're traveling around out there and stuff like this is coming on down. Let me go back to radar here real quick, because that's all we have available for right now when it comes to our website. So we'll put this into motion so you can see more about what is heading our way. Again, Chattanooga, lower right-hand corner of your screen. If you can, if you have to be out, if you have to be traveling, try to stay on as level a roadway as possible. Now, to get from point A to point B around here with all the ridges in the way, that might take you a while. So if you can stay level without having to go up and down, sliding down some of those roadways over the ridges, you can get out of control and you can cause a wreck, or other people might do the same thing. Best to avoid those hills if at all possible. So if you may have to zigzag, you may have to plot out your route so that it stays as level as possible. Granted, there's going to be some hills out there. It's going to take a good amount of planning, but if you can stay as level as possible and avoid the bridges and the overpasses, which again, the cold air underneath the bridge and on top will chill things off. And those bridges and overpasses will get chilly more than the surface where the bridge is on the ground. So that is going to be your best bet of not getting into any accidents. Now you can, again, with the higher elevations, you get up on those peaks and you might slide downwards to the point in between. There's no guarantee. If it's slick enough, there's no guarantee you're going to be able to make your way up that next slope. Or if you go too fast, fishtailing, getting out of control, you might be stuck at the bottom of those hills until everything warms up. Your car may not be able to go anyplace, and then you've got to figure out how to get to a safe, warm location and for someone to come pick you up. I've been in these situations before, especially back in northeast Kansas, so it is not a fun situation, and you want to make certain that you have that ability to stay safe and stay warm. Again, hopefully your car's filled up just in case you do have to get out and you get stuck someplace waiting for a ride, waiting for rescue. It's possible that you may not get a tow truck because the tow trucks even can't get anywhere. And four-wheel drive on ice does not work. Especially when it's really slick out there. You're just going to spin your wheels unless you're able to somehow creep up the side of the roadway where there's gravel or anything else out there that will give you some traction. It's going to be very difficult to get around. So if you don't have to travel, and don't forget that in the next couple of days, that cold air that we were looking for is going to be coming up our direction, and that is going to be a very big problem in the next few days as this cold air that we've been taking a look at here. As of right now, again, way back up to our north and west, it's -2 in Jefferson City, Missouri. Hello to my aunt and uncle and cousins up that direction. Way back over toward Topeka, where my mom is currently recuperating in the hospital. It's 0 degrees at this time. So we have got a bunch of cold air coming on through. Getting stranded someplace on an icy roadway and then having to figure out how to get safe or how to get home, that is going to be your main concern, especially with weather like this on the way. So that is something that you really do not want to try and have to do anytime soon. This can be a life-threatening situation just as much as any severe weather situation can be. The difference is it's in temperatures and travel conditions and how quick you can get safely to some location out there. And with the wind chills expected to be sub-zero getting into Tuesday morning, I would be surprised right now if there is anything in the way of school for some locations. I would not be surprised. That is not an advisement. That is just me venturing an opinion. That is totally up to the superintendents, to the people who run everything going on. So again, what you're looking for right now, go to WDEF.com and click on the weather section. Meteorologist Todd Heislip has already updated the forecast and is keeping up to date on things. He'll have your update coming up tonight on News 12 at 11. And of course, Chip Chapman will have more on your forecast. Again, more information about the severe weather details going on. You can click on that and give you an idea as to where and what things are going on in which county. This is the place for local weather to find out more. And also, if you go to the weather section, you can click on closings and delays, and that will give you an idea as to what is going on. Make sure I click on the right thing here. There we go. This is constantly being updated, and there's a whole bunch of things on here that'll show what's going on. Now, again, tomorrow is a holiday, but again, there are daycare situations, there are travel groups, there are a whole bunch of other things going on. So check out our website to find out more about what is happening out there. health-related information. Again, this is what's happening again into tomorrow. This will be updated through the night tonight, and we'll give you more details as to what is coming up. We're just at the leading edge of all of this, and this is going to be continuing through the rest of the night. So even if you think, oh, well, it's not that bad where I am right now, well, that's because if you take a look at what's happening back to our west, we have not even gotten into the beginning portion, really, of anything outside of a flurry or two. That's been about it. So we've got a lot more coming our direction over the next several hours, and tomorrow we could be looking at some very dicey traveling conditions. So this is the time to pay attention. This is the time to be informed as to what is happening, and we'll help you do that. I'm on here for right now to see if there's any further comments. We're going to be going ahead and closing this down here in just a little bit. We'll update some more. We've been on for 40 minutes already. That's something. Again, this is what is happening at about 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Things are going to be different. I would very wholeheartedly recommend tuning in to Todd Heislip tonight at 11 on News 12, and 5 o'clock in the morning for you early risers out there. Chip Chapman will have more on his forecast coming up with a detailed bit of traffic information, where and when we're expecting the problems to abate, and that includes the colder weather coming on through. Because if you take a look right beneath me, this is available at WDEF.com, and notice that the high temperature on Tuesday is going to be below freezing. We'll be lucky to make freezing on Monday, below freezing on Tuesday, barely above freezing on Wednesday, and take a look at that low temperature Wednesday morning, 8 degrees, and that is basically one of the more optimistic forecasts. That is going to, and we'll be in the teens again coming up later on, and toward the end of the week, more snowfall. So if you look over here on the 7-day forecast, we've got some clearing skies, that's true, but those numbers are back in the teens again for lows toward the end of the week as that next storm system rolls on through. So that is something to really keep an eye on. Again, forecasts are going to change, no question about that, but you, as a viewer and as a citizen, it's best if you keep up with everything that are going on through there. All right, that should do it for now. That's a ton of information that we got through, showing a little bit more about what is happening at this time. I'll be monitoring things for here, and hopefully into tomorrow morning we'll give you an idea as to what's going on. Chip will have his update on air, and I'll be doing another Facebook Live hopefully tomorrow morning. Don't know about what time frame. It depends on what goes on. It also depends on whether or not we have power and internet over portions of the area. That could be a bit of a concern as well. I would charge everything on your phones tonight. Just make certain that everything has power available in case you need it. If you've got one of those spare radios out there, I always like to keep this thing with enough batteries. I was just about to change out the duds in here so that I'm able to listen in on what goes on local media, because I've got a sinking suspicion that if things change out there, if that snow band gets a little bit closer to us, that is where we could really wind up with some problems coming our way. And again, it doesn't take much for those snow bands to fluctuate, to grow, or shrink. If you've never tried winter weather forecasting, I highly recommend it as a good thumbtack to your ego balloon, because it is difficult at best to get a decent amount of ideas as to what's going on, even in the short term. It's really something else. So if you want to take a look out there and see some of the models that we use to make our recommendations about what's going on, by all means, give it a shot, because it is not as easy as you think. And to those who would complain about what goes on, I would really recommend giving it a try before you complain too much, because a lot can change. And if you're not attuned to the potential of that change coming up, it's very difficult to explain in a way until you have actually given it a try yourself. And I'd really recommend you doing it if you've never tried winter weather forecasting before. So something to think about on that location. All right, we've been on for 45 minutes. I think that'll do it for now. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek, live and direct from House Onek. Welcome to the show from the living room. We are going to be keeping an eye on this. Todd's got your forecast on News 12 at 11. Chip's got your forecast on the morning show. And I'll be here monitoring stuff online to see what goes on. Thanks for joining us tonight. Please be safe. Please keep updated on the weather, and by all means, let's be careful out there. Stay tuned to News 12. This is the place for local weather, and we'll keep you advised as we go through this latest winter storm through tomorrow's Martin Luther King Jr. holiday and beyond. And again, always more details available at WDEF.com/weather. Thanks for joining us tonight, and please stay safe.